Hey guys, Huz here, bringing you another commentary. This time I'm playing Zed mid. He is one of them champions that I do really enjoy to play. He's a really fun champion to play. But if you have watched my Kha'Zix commentary, you will know that I kind of do prefer Kha'Zix's playstyle over Zed's. But I'm fairly confident with Zed, and in certain occasions he is the champion to play over Kha'Zix. Now, the reason I have played Zed in this match over Kha'Zix is basically they have a Cogmore, and the way their team is set up, they are very orientated around protect the Cogmore. They have the Xin to push people back if they go on the Cog, they have the Lux Bind and Shield, they have the Cho'Gath basically to stand in front of the Cogmore to peel for him, and they have the Thresh with the box and, every single slow and stun he has to protect the Cog. So that's the reason I've gone on Zed. I can basically W through their team and land on R on top of the Cogmore and manage to burst him eventually when I have Blade and all my Armor Pen items. Now, obviously, you can see these guys are coming for Invade. We're fairly split. We've got an okay level 1 here. Now, we're not a team, especially, we're playing, this is again with the Bronze Lord Kirby team. This is our placement matches. And we haven't played fives with this setup in a while. We haven't used Kirby in the jungle in quite some time. So yeah, we don't really go aggressive level 1. We just kind of ward and split. These guys are going up around, which is honestly quite an odd thing to do. Now, if these guys went straight into this bush, we have no vision. Now, I remember this, and this Thresh makes a really bad dirt moment. So we're doing wolves, ready to do blue. Ood is really close, and bam! Thresh comes out the bush. Totally gives it all away. And we're like, alright, back off, back off. That Thresh totally ruined their level 1. They would have easily got first blood there. He's still waiting here, which arguably is a really stupid thing to do, as our bot lane is going to bot lane, and they'll have free farm, free XP, that type of thing. So right now, this guy should be really basing, going back already. Quite some time ago, he should have gone. So a Nautilus is actually going to be doing red, and one thing I do have to note about the Nautilus, he did smite the big wolf. Basically, he thought they were going to invade, and he does want the XP. So that is a bad mistake on part of our Nautilus. So yeah, Nautilus, as St. Vicious said, Nautilus in the upcoming weeks is probably going to be the most contested jungler in LCS. Now, Nautilus did fall off the scale a little bit. Now, I think Nautilus's kit is really good. He's a very easy jungler to play, but very good jungler. He has his ultimate, obviously can lock onto that one person and they can't get off it. I don't even think QSS gets rid of it. It might, but I don't think it does. And obviously he has his all CCs. He's very tanky with this current item meta. The Spirit Stone, well, the new Spirit Stone tanking item, which is the Golem one, I believe, is really suited for him. Gives him CDR, gives him health, that type of thing. Now, mid lane, Lux versus Zed. This is a lane that is honestly fairly even. Now, you would probably expect an AD mid to beat most APs, which is, yeah, it is the case. But if we look at the Lux, that she's gone cloth armor first, and I do not run armor pen runes. I run flat AD runes. So there, she's got quite a lot of armor already. She has a shield eventually when she levels it, and she's also taken barrier. So she's actually relatively tanky at level 6 when I would probably expect to try and get first blood on her. Now, I am actually pushing on purpose this lane, as Lux is not a great CSer early on, and if she tries the CS early on, she's going to have to use mana. There's a gank coming top, and already the Udyr got Cho'Gath fairly low. Bam! Udyr flashes onto the Cho'Gath, ignites him, and gets first blood. Now, pretty good play by our Udyr. Now, obviously, he realised that if he flashed away, the Xin would just flash after him. So pretty damn good play, got first blood. Obviously, they did get more gold out of that. We got 400 gold for the first blood, but they got 300 gold from the kill and 150 from the assist. So they did gain a 50 gold, a little bit of a bonus. See, I do a fair amount of damage to the Lux, but not enough to burst it. Obviously, I do have the Fortitude Potion, which a lot of people have asked me, why do I always have an active item on this button, which is normally 6? Well, I've rebound it to T. The reason for this is T is a really easy button to press. Now, I'm not going to take full credit for this. I did steal this from Voyboy, I believe. I saw him on stream, and he actually explained it once on finger positioning, that type of thing. So I tried it out, and yeah, I really like it. And there will be a Kale commentary within the next couple of days, probably tomorrow. And one thing I do on Kale is early on, you'll see me run Fortitude Elixir on Kale. because I believe I'm against an AD mid, so I ran Fortitude Elixir. I had it on this button, which I bound to T, but as soon as I burnt the Fortitude Elixir, I changed her ultimate, her self-cast ultimate, to T, as it's a really easy button to choose, like press and everything, so yeah. Now, the Lux is picking up the blue buff. Now, can't see it, it's a bit bugged with LOL replay, this happens occasionally, but I can confirm that she is auto-attacking, as you can see, and there she picks up the blue buff. Pick up the race, which is always a nice thing, giving me a bit more XP, and as you can see, I've already built up a little bit of a CS lead versus the Lux. Now, if we look at the CS in general, the Udyr is on 20, the Cho'Gath's on 15, so pretty good lead by Udyr. Obviously, did pick up that first blood. The Caitlyn is ahead of the Kog'Maw by somewhat, so pretty damn good show by the Caitlyn. Now, if you did watch my last commentary, which was on Malzahar, I did actually quote that if you're not ahead on your lane opponent in CS on Caitlyn, you are doing something wrong, or your lane opponent is very good. So this kind of proves that fact that Patsy, who is our AD carry, is ahead of the Kog'Maw, so doing a pretty damn good job. They're getting free poke. Now, these guys are taking a lot of free damage, and I don't know why. So, yeah. You should never take free damage. Now, you can see me doing my normal thing of roaming. Now, arguably, I should have waited to level 6, maybe. But we're going to see what we can do. And I've told these two to push like mad. They're really low. Bam! Hits that. And I do actually manage to hit 6. I don't know where I hit that, but I'd actually call that lucky in a way that I hit level 6. But bam. 2 kills on the Caitlyn. Instant lead. I get 2 assists, which is always nice. That's given me 150 gold, as I would have got around 75 gold for each assist, as obviously they were shared with the Janna. Now, this is one thing I will argue, that people should know kind of gold percentages and everything, on what kills give you, what each buff gives you at the times of the games, as it does really help when you're building around items. Now, the Lux has been in base quite some time. She's picked up herself a chalice and another cloth armor. Obviously, really trying to survive my level 6 burst. Obviously, I did use my level 6 burst on the bot lane. Now, that is one thing probably to note on the Zed. Sorry if you hear background noise, I don't know what's happening downstairs, but pick up a kill on that, but yeah, they're gonna die. But still, kill for the Udyr, which is always nice. But yeah, I realised that I was never going to burst down the Lux level 6 with barrier, her shield, and the amount of armor she had, so I did use my level 6 burst on the bot lane. It was slightly intended, as obviously I think I was coming down here at level 5 and I dinged level 6 as soon as I hit in this bush. So some minions died here and it's an XP range. So pretty good, pretty good first blood bot lane. So yeah, not first blood, the first kills in bot lane, double kill for Caitlyn. So it's always good to get your AD carry fed. Now, generally what happens in our normal main ranked 5s team, obviously this is again the Bronze Lord Kirby team that we're playing with the Bronze Lord himself, Diabolical Kirby. But normally what happens is Galzuk, who is normally our jungler, who's playing support now, and he is very good at support, he's a very good Janna. He normally comes in mid, and we normally get first blood, and then we normally get second blood as well. And then I just kind of roam a little bit and trying to feed the other lanes, as well as him. He can then just go farm, because I'll be ganking a little bit more. I get the red buff, as I gave the Nautilus the blue, so I always want to have one of the buffs. I'm a bit greedy in that sense, I suppose. Deluxe deep warding in our jungle, just to give vision if I were to roam down bottom lane. Now, people may ask, is Lux a good pickup? Still, she's dropped off a little bit, I suppose, over the last couple of weeks. Now, yeah, she's still a very good pick. I'd probably say the reason she's kind of fallen off a little bit, that you may not see her in ranked games as much, is she's a little bit of a boring champion to play. I don't mean to offend people if anybody really finds her fun. It's just, in my case anyway, I did play quite a lot of Lux in a few short weeks. So that was maybe me just got burnt out playing the same champion. But yeah, she's a little bit boring that you kind of do the same thing over and over. Now, Udyr picks up the Cho'Gath again, and the CS lead is really increasing. In the 5 minutes ago, I think, when I said what the CS advantages were, he was on 15 and now he's only on 21, so he's only getting 6 in a few minutes, and obviously the Udyr is quite some far ahead. Kog'Maw managed to pick up the Janna, which is unfortunate. So I'm coming around the back to see if I can pick anything up looking at this Thresh, but I don't believe I do. quite a lot of burst, and you can see, that was just my clones damage. I might have hit the double Q, but the E was just my clones, and I managed to chunk him to 2/3. So already I'm actually getting rather strong. I've already got my cutlass, which, as you'd probably know, I've managed. I moved it to the last slot in my inventory, which is my T button, and then I moved my Fortitude Elixir to number 2. This is normally what I do. It's just personal preference. Everybody has their own. Number 1. In my hand position, number 1's just okay for potions. Where number 2, I kind of have like one finger hovering around that anyway. If he were to continue, I'd have just killed him. So he decides to back off. Now, Z mid is a really fun mid to play. As mentioned, I do like Kha'Zix more, but basically because I like to jumpy jump around the whole team. Find him, know he's quite low, and bam, pick up a free kill. I obviously did burn my Fortitude Elixir there. Dodge all of her spells and just get out. There's no need to, keep going, as I know their blue buff's up. That's why I went over there. But then their bot lane were missing, so it's fairly obvious they were coming over to either try and kill me or to try and stop me taking blue. So I decided to back out. So if we look at CS advantages, we're even in mid. So that's kind of to be expected. Lux is actually a very good CSer. Obviously, when she builds up AP and a mana regen, she can just start using abilities to farm. Obviously, you have seen her use her ultimate a couple times to farm, making sure that it doesn't get pushed to her tower. Where me, I'm just relying on basically my Q spam. Now, a lot of people may question what abilities I'm leveling. I level my Q first over my E in some occasions, and this is one of them occasions, as I'm playing against a high range mid laner. So I was thinking early game I might get zoned out of taking CS. So I pick up the Q, and it actually does quite a lot of poke. Obviously, it has just under 6 seconds. Trying to steal the blue away, and yeah, he smites it away. It was lack of communication. I should have told the Nautilus to smite. Now, arguably, I should have ran to the right, as I might have picked up a double kill there. Udyr picks up the Cho'Gath again. This lane is going crazy. Obviously, the CS advantage is massive for the Udyr. But the Cho'Gath is actually picking up a few kills here and there, as the Udyr is tower diving, and it's actually quite hard to tower dive Cho'Gath with Feast, Q, and his Silence. Picking up Dragon, I just clear mid to push it into the tower, as you always should do that, and head over to Dragon to aid killing it. Lane, they've also pushed it to their second tower, so this is a completely free Dragon. Always push your lanes before you go for an objective, otherwise when you go back to your lane you'll be missing CS and you'll be missing XP, as the tower may have killed it already. Return to mid lane, just farming it up. Now the build I do on a Zed is I do build Blade on Zed, as Blade is a better item on Zed than it is Kha'Zix. Now Kha'Zix, yeah, sure, you should preferably build flat AD on a Kha'Zix with his mana regen of tier. But I do like building Blade on a Kha'Zix, as it does give him, that little bit of a slow, just in case, he needs it. It gives him a bit of life back, that type of thing, which I do quite enjoy. But especially on a Zed, the Blade is basically made for him. You ultimate onto a target, and then once you've ultimated, then you use Blade, and then you do your full, then you do a little bit of a burst, and then your ultimate will hit more, as it increases the amount of damage the timer dot does, the more damage you do in the interval. So yeah, that's why Blade's a pretty damn good pickup, as it does 5% of their maximum health, so that's 5% maximum more damage you're doing in the interval of the dot. I'm actually leaving this farm for Janna, as it's always good to give your support a little bit of gold. They don't get a lot of gold. They get their gold from GP5s and assists. So yeah, he has 2 GP5s, which he is making gold from. But it's always good to give him some CS. Like, we just gave him a whole wave, which is in excess of I think around 120 gold. So yeah, it was a nice thing to do. Now they're going in top lane, and again, tower diving this Cho'Gath, which is not really the smartest thing to do. But then the Xin turns up at the wrong time. Cho'Gath picks up the kill on the Nautilus, and then I believe, in my opinion, the Udyr might have been able to turn earlier, but we do manage to pick up the Xin. Now that was stupid of me getting bound. If I didn't get bound, I probably would have engaged deeper onto these two, as I do have my ultimate up. We're pushing this. We're thinking that maybe we can tower dive these two. You know, the Cho'Gath's rather tanky-ish, but the Lux is really squishy compared to the damage I can do at this current point in time. Now, I have just picked up my blade, but I did use it, so... Now, we decided to back off, I believe. We don't go for the tower dive, which I believe is a smart thing to do. Bot lane, there's a bit of a fight going on. That's a very good general, like, a very good general. Completely splits the AD carry and the support, so it's a free kill onto the support. Very good play by Galzuk there. Now, Galzuk favours Janna over other supports when he does play support, as her peel is better than any other support in the game. Now there's a head-to-head going on top. The Cho'Gath. Now I will say one thing about the Cho'Gath, his build is actually really bad. And I will flat out say that. He's got a Ninja Tabi Catalyst, 37 AP, I don't know where from. Bam, he gets another kill. Free blue buff onto the Udyr. But yeah, he's got a really bad build. Either go flat tanky, or, well, I wouldn't even go AP. Bam, I'm engaging onto the Lux. Barrier and shield, as I said at the early game, is rather strong, and I was unable to get the full burst on her to kill her. But yeah, she's relatively low, she's half health. Using her ult to push the wave back, which is always a bonus for us. Obviously, Lux ult is a low cooldown, 55 seconds, which in comparison to other ults is fairly low. As you can see, mine's 96. I run 4% CDR from the offensive tree in Masteries. But other than that, I do not have any CDR. Pick up my Brutalizer, which is always a nice pick. It does give me CDR this, so that does help a little bit. If we look, 86 seconds, so it's gone down by around 10 seconds, my ultimate. So it's always a nice thing to have. Now, if you just look at the comparisons of CS, if we swap around people to make it all line up. Mid lane... jungle, there we go, everything's lined up. Janna has a little bit more CS than the Thresh, has more assists, one less death, so good going by the Janna. Top lane, a lot more CS, that's probably the biggest CS advantage in the game, or it is the biggest CS advantage in the game. Basically, they're opposites in kills and deaths. Eben has 5 kills, 3 deaths, Cho'Gath has 3 kills, 5 deaths. Mid lane, I am currently 202, with 146 CS, and the Lux is 000, which is pretty good play by the Lux, staying very, well, pretty much passive to stay alive. But I am ahead on CS, which is pretty good by myself. Junglers, Xin has 1 kill and 2 assists, so he is ahead in that factor of the Nautilus, but the Nautilus is ahead by a little bit of CS. Now AD carries, here is another quite big advantage. Our AD Caitlyn has 300 and 140, or let's call it 150 odd CS. She might go do the mini golems to bring it around that number. But the Kog'Maw is 110 with 120, so good advantage by Caitlyn. So overall going quite well for us this game. In this game, basically I'm determined not to die. That is one thing I do say, don't set yourself at like really high goals in a game, but basically say to yourself, I don't want to die in this game. And you'll find yourself doing probably better. Obviously die if it is a really, really, really beneficial death to your team. And a lot of people must say, beneficial death, what the hell is a beneficial death? If you somehow get half of their team to half health, and then your team is coming in ready to kill the rest of them, but you need to delay them basing, but you die in the process, but they can clean up, then it's a beneficial death. You can see Eben's damage is actually quite a lot. The Xin misses his ult, which I don't know how you can miss it from there. Eben was right next to him. I pick up the blue buff as Nautilus picked up the enemy blue buff. And at this point, I'm currently saying on communications, or relatively soon I'll be saying on communications, me and Udyr can do Baron. We don't need any of the rest of you. Me and him can do Baron. As both of us have Blade of the Rune King, fairly amount of damage, and with Blade of the Rune King you do have obviously the 5% of maximum health, and that works for Baron, and you get the lifesteal from it. So yeah, it's an always good item. And with me and Udyr, we'll easily be able to do the Baron ourselves. But obviously we need the rest of the team to create a distraction, as if they find us doing Baron, we are dead, and they will probably pick up the Baron. It's just pushing in the mid lane right now. Nautilus counter jungling the Xin a little bit. Now the Thresh is overextended, or not overextended. I just find him basically in the jungle, hit him one more Q, and then my dot picks him up. Pretty good by myself. Now I'm 302 with 174 C or 77 CS. So at the moment, if we look at the gold advantages, as we haven't done that yet in this game, I'm currently the second highest gold in the game, with our Udyr being the most with 6 kills. Picking up the dragon right now, but if we continue to look at the gold, as I said always, the best way to see the amount of gold difference you are in teams, a good indication, sorry, is the supports. As obviously supports should not really be picking up kills. They get their gold passively through GP5s, and they get objective gold, so towers and dragons, barons, that type of thing. So you can see the Janna is somewhat ahead of the Thresh, so that's a really good indication, and all the lanes are ahead in gold. Pretty good goal by our team. Obviously, if I ult right now, I probably would have tried to kill. Now, that is a really dirt moment for me. I go for the flash to try and get the kill, but yeah, it never would happen. I forget kind of she has barrier. Xin jumps on the Janna. Now, right now, we are playing this pretty risky. We don't know. I think we don't know where they. Oh, but Kog'Maw just died, so we do know where he is. He's in heaven, or the equivalent in League of Legends. So just pushing up mid, forcing them to kind of put pressure or basically cover the mid. Udyr is really pressuring top. He's going for that tower. You know, at the moment he's ignoring the Cho'Gath somewhat, just putting some tower damage on so they know, you know, they have to deal with this. Now all the lanes are pushed. Obviously this lane's pushing up to their second tower. Swap back to the item point of view. If you look at my items right now, I've got myself my Mercury Treads, which is always a nice pickup on Zed. Obviously, I am fairly a squishy champion, and the amount of CC the enemy team has always get the tenacity. Obviously, tenacity items do not stack, so once you get one tenacity item, do not get a second. Now, I also picked up my BF sword, which will be turning into a Bloodthirster, which is always a nice thing. Now, the Korean style, a lot of people note that the Korean style is different than the Europe West and the NA style. The Koreans pick up an early Bloodthirster rather than the Blade of the Ruined King, which, yeah, I can see why they do that. It does give you more damage, but I believe with our current playstyles in Europe and NA, the Blade kind of gives you the kill potential more than the Bloodthirster does. It gives you the slow and everything. Right now we're telling our team, go bottom, me and Udyr will do Baron. I'm basing right now to go get a Vision Ward to make sure they don't have Baron warded, as if we started it and they had it warded, that would have been very bad news for us. Thresh is hovering around, we know he's there, we've got a ward right here, so he's probably going to throw a ward down on Baron, but our team's moving in, bam, 3 of them there, and you're going to slowly see their whole team walk over to the right side any moment. They've just picked up blue, and we're waiting for it. Right, Lux going over to the right, Xin going over to the right, Kog'Maw going to the right, and once these two have picked up these wraiths, and these two will go over to the right, or Cho'Gath might go and cover top a little bit. Now I throw my pink ward down and start Baron. Thresh starts to go over to the right, as they do need to cover this. Now this is a mistake by our team. They either fight or get engaged on, and they manage to do one death. But in the process, me and Udyr are doing Baron. Now this is a fairly risky Baron, as I did say. Now I'm very squishy, so Udyr has to tank this up, but occasionally he gets knocked out. So I'm praying to God that I don't die. Arguably, I should have maybe got a Vamp Scepter over the BF Sword for a bit more sustain, but, you know, you will see how this Baron goes. You're really low right now, and bam. Pick up the Baron. So right now we've got Baron. These two have just picked up the Baron buff, so yeah, they're about to get vision of the enemy, and the enemy's going to get vision of them and go, oh, they have Baron buff. How the hell did they do that? Well, yeah, if you've got two people in your team that are somewhat, well, one's tanky with the Udyr and one does a lot of damage, and both have Blade of the Ruined King, then for no reason you should not try and do Baron, just the two of you. It's a pretty good thing to do, pretty good method to do, and always something that we try to do. Now they are distracting these guys somewhat down bot lane, and it's a rather risky play. I'm working my way down, if you see on the minimap, and Udyr, we've told, just go push top. Try and get into their base. Now Janna does get rather bursted down, I believe, but here I come. The assassin himself. So L over. I predicted that she's going to flash. Predict that. Get 1 kill. Caitlyn picks up 1, I believe, by herself. So very well played. She picks up the Lux. Now we are going for these guys. He flashes away. So yeah, we decide to just go get the CS and push the wave up. Now the Kog'Maw's build is pretty standard for a Kog'Maw nowadays. He has picked up the Blade of the Ruin King. So yeah. Now as you can see, as I did mention in the past commentary on the Malzahar, as the enemy Caitlyn built a Blade of the Ruin King, our Caitlyn decided not to, as it is an item that you shouldn't really build on Caitlyn, as you should never be in the range of the Blade. There is no need to be in the range of the Blade of the Ruin King, so no need to get it. Udyr pressuring top some more, got the first tower, really good job by him, which enables us to either push mid, which the Nautilus is currently doing, try and get that tower, and me and the AD carry are basically keeping 2 to 3 of them here at all times, otherwise we're going to take this tower. Now we're kind of doing a split push method without being really a split push team. You know, when you have a split push team, you kind of have a Shen or something with TP involved, and we don't have that, so we're fairly confident at this point. 4 people are chasing the Udyr right now, which has enabled us, well, stupidly of me, the Caitlyn does the right thing, goes and gets the tower and starts hitting the inhib. I, you know, start wandering to see if I could do anything, but in essence, no. Into their base, bam, and he's gone. I would have loved that kill, but yeah, it's okay. Now I'm really low, I flash out, and I survive. Yes, I'm still in the no death club. It was a good thing, and I accidentally put that on slow down. These guys are literally trying to run away, maybe pick up a kill while they're running back, but in essence, like, I'm not coming. I have told my team I'm basing, goodbye. Oh, they should be able to pick up a kill here, I believe. These guys are incredibly low, and yeah, they overextend a little bit. I don't know what that Thresh was thinking. Canna's right in the midst. They try to get more. Good dodge of the Cho'Gath Qs. A really good played by our Caitlyn there. Kog'Maw comes back into the fight and focusing at the Caitlyn, which obviously is not always a bad thing. Focus the damage. Janna is trying to do her best to run away, and Nautilus also trying to do his best to get away. And yeah, he was going to run this way, but then realised there was a tower, so Gals was kind of trapped. See that their red's up, so I'm just going to pick up their red. So yeah, pretty good play by my Thresh this game. It's gone fairly well. Done what I needed to do. Obviously, we have not really got to the stage yet that they wanted. Now, they wanted team fights where they literally protect the Kog'Maw, and we haven't allowed that to happen. We've always had someone top. We've always had our Udyr top, pushing the top lane. I've generally always had this lane pushed in mid, and bot lane has always had this lane pushed in bot. So they've always had to be split, which is not their team strength. Their team strength, as I've said, is being together, protecting the Kog'Maw, as the Kog'Maw is their main damage dealer. So we played this game very well, I would say, overall, not allowing them to fully fulfill what they wanted to do. Now, Zed is, I wouldn't say he's one of my best champions, but he is in my good category. I'm fairly comfortable with playing him against pretty much any opponent in mid lane. Obviously, you don't really want to go against something like a Cho'Gath AP mid lane. That would be a nightmare for Zed, as the Cho'Gath would have sustain, he'd be too tanky, that type of thing. Zed is perfect against playing champions that are really squishy. Now, Kha'Zix is a champion that really you can play against anything against me. Even if it's something tanky, you could still kill them and potentially wreck on a Kha'Zix. Where Zed, it's a bit more harder, as he is more of a pure assassin than Kha'Zix. They're just scouting to see if their blue's up, which it's not. I'm coming over to try and get the Kog'Maw, and woohoo! Bam! And that's basically what we were going to do anyway. If they decided to group, that's why I picked Zed, to instantly gib the Kog'Maw. So that's kind of where our team combats come into fray. We've picked around, you know, being tanky. We've got the Janna and the Nautilus to peel for our Caitlyn, and I was basically just going to jump into their team and kill the Kog'Maw and try and get out. Which, you know, kind of works, or has kind of worked in this game, but as I said, we haven't really allowed them to do what they wanted. We're just beating down the bases, towers right now. Obviously, we have won this game, and we're about to win this game. we're just hovering around. Obviously, I did pick up my Bloodthirster, which is not fully stacked yet. Fight goes on. I'm right in the middle of the mix. And as I said this game, I really do not want to die. So I kind of back off. We've won this game. I know we've won this game. And I really want to do, you know, my KDA on Zed. I want it to be fairly good. So I go back to base. I know we've won the game right now. So yeah, I go back to base. And I believe they finish off the game. So just beating down the Nexus. I think they might get a free kill. One more, maybe. No. Game's over. So there you go, guys. There's a game on Zed mid. I hope you guys maybe learnt a few things. You know, maybe the comp, take that in effect if you're doing rank 5s. If you're against the Cogmore mid, if you're against a Cogmore, sorry, in the enemy team, Zed is always a good pickup, as I've said. But yeah, next commentary will be Kale mid versus a Kha'Zix. It's a pretty good game. I have a pretty damn good game on Kale. And again, it's another rank 5s. And next game, I will reveal where we got to in our placement matches with Bronze Lord Kirby. So, as always, keep playing League of Legends, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.